I am author MD New, and I'm going to be reading from my newest novel, The Called, which is the sequel to my debut novel, The Calling. Now, this story finishes off the series, at least for now. So here's a little bit about The Called. The world is changing quickly for Chris, now that he's part of the Immortal Community. The events of his past behind him, but true magic is gradually taking hold in the world and not helping out the Immortal Community. Now, enemies must work together and longtime friends may not be trustworthy. Plus, who is lurking in the shadows? What does this mean for witches, immortals, and humans? So that's the blurb. Hope you like it. So tonight I'm going to be reading from, not from the beginning of the book, but actually from chapter 2. I liked this section, so I thought it would be fun to read. The idea of hanging out and walking around and being normal with Kirtus, I couldn't think of anything better, or even the last time I'd done anything like that. Maybe it was with Cindy before I came to San Jose. Anyway, sure, there were events and things I did with Juliet and Amanda, but that was always either at Juliet's house or in Los Altos. And as nice as those outings were, they never felt normal to me. Like what actual people do on the weekend. Now, I had assumed the prune yard was a mall, but it wasn't. The complex housed 3 towers that looked like they would be more comfortable in downtown San Jose than here. At the front of the development, a series of 2-story buildings housed a bunch of retail. They were things like a hotel, restaurants, a movie theater, clothing stores, and a bookstore Kirtus had mentioned. This is kind of quirky, I said. Yep, it's different, especially for this part of town. But you'll appreciate how normal and everyday the shops and restaurants are. I laughed. We found parking and made our way to the shops and restaurants. I took in all the scents and the people. This place wasn't slammed like Stanford Shopping Center had been at Christmas, but there were lots of folks out and about enjoying the late morning and brisk winter day. As promised, we hit the bookstore, which I enjoyed. I got a nose around and check out all the books. The store didn't have any gay fiction, or even a section dedicated to books of that genre, which was disappointing. But what did you expect for a small bookstore? They couldn't have everything, I supposed. Still, I managed to find a couple of books to read, which made me happy. Kirtus and I walked over to Coffee Society, and I found us some seats, and Kirtus disappeared inside to get himself a coffee. I didn't need anything, and sadly, these kind of drinks tasted like hot air to me now, which was a shame, because I really would have enjoyed a nice hot cocoa. Kirtus returned in short order and placed a cup in front of me. What's this? I figured it's best if we both get something. Ah, right. I hadn't considered that. I picked up my drink and sniffed. Tea? He grinned. Hot chocolate. I frowned. Bummer. I picked up my hot cocoa and took a sip. Yep, hot air. I put it down and caught whiff of the ocean. I inhaled a bit more and frowned. I knew that scent. Oh, look, how sweet. Sahin's voice rang out. Kirtus sipped his drink before putting it on the table. Sahin, how nice. Sahin appeared in a pair of tight, dark jeans and muted brown long-sleeve shirt with hints of his white undershirt showing. Over the shirt, he wore a brown suede jacket. His appearance annoyed me with how good he looked. Not as good as Kirtus, of course. He was decked out in black jeans, polished black shoes, and a light blue V-neck cashmere sweater that made him look amazing. Still, Sahin wasn't bad looking. So, what are you boys up to? Sahin pulled over a chair and sat down at our table. Especially here in my neck of the woods. That's mighty brave. A flicker of malice raced in his eyes. I crossed my arms over my chest and tried not to sneer at him. My plan is to show Chris around. Kirtus appeared unruffled. However, the lines between his eyebrows betrayed him. With all the people around, I didn't figure either Kirtus or Saheen wanted to make a public scene, which was good. How charming. Saheen picked up Kirtus's drink and finished it off in one long, steady gulp. Well, I'm off to pick up my tailoring. Don't overstay your welcome. He dropped the empty cup on my table and winked at me. Always lovely to see you, Chris. Enjoy your day. He strolled off without so much as a peek over his shoulder. What the hell is Saheen's problem? I should have known better. Kirtus sat the coffee cup upright. I forgot today was Sunday and this is one of his haunts. Kirtus leaned back in his chair. I'm sorry. You have nothing to be sorry about. He's an ass. I leaned forward and took Kirtus's hand, not giving two shits at who observed us. This can't be only because you're who you are. Saheen's been out to get me for years, Kirtus sighed, keeping his voice soft. When he originally checked me for my abilities, he saw my power. He downplayed it, of course, to Victor, but Victor remained interested in my talent. He didn't know anyone like me, and even with as much as Saheen tried to downplay my gifts, Victor agreed to sponsor me. Saheen, of course, wasn't happy. Well, none of the Dark were really. They didn't want to have someone tainted like me among them. So he's jealous of you, I said. Kirtus rubbed his forehead. Maybe, who knows, with Saheen. But I think what did it was maybe about 10 or 15 years after I became who I am. I helped Victor with, well, I assisted Victor with a situation involving Juliet. Really? What? Never mind, forget I said that. Anyway, once Victor and Juliet witnessed my strength and my gifts, Victor got pissed and summoned Saheen to the Bay Area. Originally, Saheen had the territory under Betty's charge now. Who's Betty? Ugh. She's one of Victor's lieutenants. She's a piece of work. If you think Saheen's bad? Kirtus shook his head. Anyway, when Saheen arrived back in San Jose, I don't know what all transpired between him and Victor. After they met, things changed. Saheen lost all the territory he controlled and returned to San Jose permanently to work by Victor's side. He hasn't left since. Saheen managed to spin the change as a promotion and some great honor, but a few of us knew better. Since that happened, he's done everything short of trying to have me killed. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so, Saheen, Kirtus said. I had no idea. Don't worry about it. Just, don't go blabbing. What happened isn't a state secret or anything, but I'd prefer to not drudge up any of that with the others, especially Saheen or Victor. So that is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed it.